What is up? It is Big Char Trades back with another video, and in this video I am going to be recapping my trade from today where I made around $7,200 across 3 of my alpha accounts. I actually took this trade on all my accounts, but I set my stop to some high. I think it was a 1 minute internal high. I set my stop to like this high or something because this range is humongous. If you see on this 5 minute inversion, the one that I took was right here, this inversion right here. If we see that range is, you know, huge, 54 points. So I made my stop at like this high or something. I think I probably entered on like this candle or something, and my stop was this high, so like 30-point stop. And I set my stop on all of my accounts except my alpha accounts because I forgot to. I thought I did, and it turns out I didn't set my stop. So I had no stop loss for this trade. And the take profit was obviously all the way down at these data lows. So let me get into this trade and tell you why I took it in the first place. Now, if we go to the 4-hour time frame, we see this clear SMT at all-time highs, right? This bearish SMT. The NASDAQ is nowhere near all-time highs. ES just made an all-time high today. So I saw that bearish SMT, and then going to the hourly, we had NFP today. So we had data highs and data lows, and the data highs are right here. It's 8:30 a.m. highs, right? So those are the highs, those are the lows. The highs were swept, and since the highs were swept, I was looking for some sort of PD array or something that we can use in this trade. And the first thing that my eyes went to was this hourly order block right there. So this hourly order block was right there. And obviously can't just take the trade based off of an hourly order block. So with that hourly order block, if we look at the 5-minute time frame, at 9:30 we reswept these highs, which is exactly what I was looking for, right? I wanted a resweep. So we reswept those highs. We put in an SMT right here, as you can see. This is a lower high, whereas on ES we made a higher high, right? So we put in that SMT, we have that higher time frame PD array, we have the liquidity sweep. Now I just need an inversion. So I looked at this 5-minute inversion, and that was my entry. Obviously, this range was huge, right? So I had two options here. I could have waited for a retest, but the thing is, when I see displacement this fast, I don't really like to wait for retest because this shows me, or at least what I thought, this shows me that price was going to run down to those data lows. So I entered right on the closure, and then my stop went at this high right here. I think, wait, where's the closure? I think the closure is, dang it. The closure is right here, okay? So instead of putting my stop here, which is a 54-point stop, I put my stop at a 1-minute internal high. So my stop went like right here or something. I don't know how I formulated my stop because my entry is here. Maybe I entered on the next candle, I guess. I don't know. My stop went at, or this candle maybe. My stop went at some internal high. I was in the trade for a little bit. So I think this is the high that I think I entered on this candle actually. And then this was the high that my stop was at. It was at one of these highs. And I was in profit for a little bit, and then I got stopped out on my other accounts, my Top Step and my Fund Futures, and then my Alpha Futures did not have a stop loss because I thought I put a stop loss and I didn't. And luckily, the trade played out in my favor. If I put my stop at this external high, the trade would have played out in my favor anyway. The only problem with putting my stop at that external high was that it was 54 points. And that's way too much risk for me. That is, let me do the math, 54 times 20. That's $1,000 of risk. I'm just not willing to put that on, so I didn't. And yeah, the trade ended up trading into the direction. Let's see how many points this was. This was a 121-point trade. So I was very happy when I looked at my alpha accounts and I saw that I was $2,400 in profit. So I was yeah, this was my trade from today. This was a solid trade. We ended up dumping all the way down to those PM lows. But this was a solid setup with the data highs and data lows. This was a great trade. I kind of wish I put my stop at the external high because I usually do that. The only reason I didn't do that today was because of the displacement after we swept those highs at 9:30. So with that being said, that concludes my trade recap from today. Let me know in the comments below if you took the same trade as me. I read all my comments, so yeah, let me know in the comments below. Subscribe if you feel like it, and if you want a funded account, go to Alpha Futures, use code CHAR, you'll get 10% off. And with that being said, see you in the next one. Have a great weekend.